Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions? You wake up, you rush through your day, you go to bed, and you do it all over again. It can feel like you're running on empty, trying so hard to be good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But let me tell you something wonderful today. You don't have to live that way. God has something so much better for you, and it's called grace. Living in God's grace isn't about trying harder. It's about receiving something freely given. It's about letting go of the struggle and letting God's power work through you, transforming your ordinary days into extraordinary ones. It's the key to unlocking a life of peace, joy, and purpose. Imagine your life being less about stress and more about peace. Imagine facing challenges not with fear, but with a quiet confidence that God is on your side. That's what a life filled with grace looks like. So what is this grace we keep talking about? Let's get really simple here. Grace is God's power given to us free of charge to help us do what we could never do on our own. Think of it this way. Mercy is when God doesn't give us the punishment we deserve. But grace is when God gives us blessings and favor we don't deserve. It's His goodness poured out on us not because we've earned it, simply because He loves us. It's God saying, I know you're struggling. I know you're not perfect. Here's my strength, my help, my favor. Take it. It's a gift. It's unearned, unmerited, absolutely unconditional favor. Imagine a car with no gasoline. You can sit in it, you can polish it, you can admire it, but you can't go anywhere. God's grace is the gasoline. It's the power that makes the engine run. It enables us to move forward, to make progress, to live the life God planned for us. How you start your day often determines how the rest of your day will go. If you wake up and your first thought is about your long to-do list or the problems you're facing, you're already starting from a place of stress. But what if you could start your day from a place of peace and power? You can, and it begins with prayer. Before you even get out of bed, before you check your phone, before the worries of the world rush in, take a few moments to simply connect with God. You don't need a long, fancy prayer. Something simple from your heart sets the tone and opens the door for God's grace. Start by saying, Good morning, Lord. Thank you for this new day. I invite you into it. I need your grace today. Hand the keys to your day over to God. You lead, I'll follow. This prayer is an act of faith. Instead, you lean on God's unlimited grace. Once you've started your day by receiving God's grace, the next step is to start giving it away to others. One of the most beautiful ways we do this is through simple acts of kindness. Grace isn't just for us to keep to ourselves. It's meant to flow through us to the people around us. Think about it. God has been so kind and patient with you, even when you didn't deserve it. When you choose to be kind to someone else, especially when they are being difficult, you are giving them a little taste of the same grace God has given you. It's a powerful, tangible demonstration of God's love. Kindness doesn't have to be grand. Often it's the small, everyday things that make the biggest difference. Let a car merge in front of you in heavy traffic. Offer a genuine smile and a thank you to a tired cashier. Hold your tongue when you want to say something critical to a spouse or child. I remember a day when everything was going wrong. I went for coffee feeling frustrated. The young woman behind the counter gave me a huge warm smile and said, I hope you have a really wonderful day. That small moment felt like sunshine. Her kindness cut through my bad mood and reminded me there was still good in the world. She didn't know my story, but she shared grace, and it changed me. You never know the impact of a small act. Living this way takes intention. Being a channel of God's grace blesses others and fills you with joy and purpose. It's a beautiful cycle God designed. Living a life of grace does not mean you will never have any problems. I want to be very clear about that. We live in a broken world and difficult things happen. People get sick jobs or lost relationships, face challenges. The true test of walking in grace comes not when life is easy, but when life gets hard. It's in those moments that we have a choice. Will we give in to fear, worry, despair, or will we choose to trust God? Trusting God in hard times is a powerful expression of faith, and it is where His grace often shows up in the most miraculous and sustaining ways. It's choosing to believe His promises are bigger than your problems. Trust is not a feeling, it is a decision. Think of it like being in a boat during a storm. Fear tells you to focus on the size of the waves and the howling wind, convincing you that you're going to sink. But trust is fixing your eyes on the captain of the boat, Jesus. He is never panicked by the storm. He has power over it. When you focus on Him instead of the storm, His peace begins to fill your heart. But you have a deep inner calm because you know who is in control. One of the most powerful habits you can develop for living in grace is the habit of gratitude. A thankful heart is a heart that is wide open to receiving more from God. When you are focused on what you're thankful for, it's very hard to be negative, worried, or discontent. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong in your life to what's right. It opens your eyes to see the countless ways God's grace is already at work all around you, every single day. So many people miss out on the joy of today because they are too busy complaining about yesterday or worrying about tomorrow. But a heart of gratitude lives in the present moment, recognizing the blessings that are right in front of it. Developing a grateful attitude is a choice. You have to be intentional about it, especially when you don't feel like it. It's easy to be thankful when things are going great, but true, grace-filled gratitude thanks God even in the middle of challenges. The beauty of a sunrise, the taste of your morning coffee, a kind word from a friend, the simple fact that you have air in your lungs. Every day, maybe before you go to bed, write down 3 to 5 things you are thankful for. Don't just write down the big things. Look for the small, specific blessings. I'm thankful for the way my child laughed today. I'm thankful for the encouraging text my spouse sent me. This simple exercise can rewire your brain to look for the positive and to recognize God's hand in your life more frequently. Let me tell you a simple story about a woman named Sarah. Sarah's morning commute was the most stressful part of her day. The traffic was always terrible. People were rude. She often arrived at work already feeling frustrated and on edge. She would grip the steering wheel, complain about the other drivers, and worry about being late. Her mornings set a negative tone for her entire day. One Sunday, she heard a teaching about living in God's grace and how it's a power for our everyday moments. The speaker encouraged everyone to invite God into the parts of their day that frustrated them the most. For Sarah, that was her commute. So, the next Monday, she decided to try something different. Before she even started the car, she prayed a simple prayer. God, I'm giving you my commute today. I need your grace. Help me to have your peace instead of my stress, and your patience instead of my anger. As she pulled into the usual bumper-to-bumper traffic, she made a conscious choice. Instead of focusing on the slow-moving cars, she put on some worship music. She took a deep breath and said out loud, God, I give that person grace. By the time she got to work, she felt calm and even refreshed. Experiencing God's grace isn't a one-time event. It's a daily, moment-by-moment choice. It's about developing new habits of thinking and responding. Just like you build a physical muscle by exercising it regularly, you build your grace muscle by intentionally practicing these principles every day. It won't always be easy. When you forget to pray in the morning, when you react with anger instead of kindness, when you let fear get the best of you. But here is the wonderful news. God's grace is even for those moments. When you mess up, you don't have to hide in shame. You can immediately go to God and say, Lord, I messed up. Thank you for your forgiveness and your grace. Help me to do better next time. The key is to make a conscious decision each day to look for God's grace and to be a conduit of it. This means being mindful. Pay attention to your thoughts and attitudes. When you catch yourself complaining, stop and intentionally find something to be thankful for. When you feel yourself getting impatient with someone, pause and ask God for His patience to flow through you. It's about creating new neural pathways in your brain, so to speak. You are training yourself to respond with grace instead of reacting from your old, negative habits. It takes practice, but with God's help, it is absolutely possible. Each time you choose grace, you are strengthening that habit. No matter who you are, what you've done, or what you're facing right now, I want you to hear this one thing loud and clear. God's grace is for you. It's not reserved for a special few. It's not only for people who seem to have it all together. Grace is for the broken, the tired, the weak, the imperfect. It's for every single one of us. God's supply of grace is unlimited, and He is eagerly waiting to pour it out into your life. You don't have to clean yourself up first to receive it. You can come to Him just as you are right now. In this moment, He will meet you there with open arms and a heart full of love and power. The journey of walking in grace is the most freeing and fulfilling life you can live. It's a life where you are no longer burdened by the need to be perfect. You are free to be human, to make mistakes, and to know that you are still completely loved and accepted by your Heavenly Father. So I want to encourage you today to take that first step. Start today. Start now. You can walk in God's grace every single day, no matter what.